Good Monday morning. Well, last week we talked about adultery, and this week Jesus is going to dig a little deeper up in our well. So the Sermon on the Mount continues, and he says this to us. He says, let's not pretend this is easier than it really is. Now remember, last week he was talking about even if you look at someone to be lustful, then you've really committed adultery in your heart. He said, let's not pretend it's easier than it is. But if you want to live a morally pure life, here's what you have to do. So here we go. You have to blind your right eye the moment you catch it in a lustful leer. You have to choose to live one-eyed or else be dumped on a moral trash heap. And you have to chop off your right hand the moment you notice it raised threateningly. Better a bloody stump than your entire being discarded for good in the dump. So let's remember, Jesus doesn't do things like we do it. Jesus looks at all of life from a heavenly perspective, meaning what gets us from here to there and what prevents us from getting here to there, because ultimately that's what we're all after. And here again, Jesus is calling us to a higher principle. I believe we have to go cut our eye out or cut our arm off if we're looking at people lustfully, or if we're acting out in anger, which is what he's talking about, if it's your hand. I don't think we have to, but there are times that you and I have to decide if something is leading us in a dangerous, moral, slippery slope. There's a powerful title of a book by, his name's completely left me. He was up for the Supreme Court, Robert Bork, and he wrote this book called Slouching Toward Gomorrah. That is such a powerful title to me. If that's where something is leading you, whether it's something you're watching on television or Netflix or whatever your streaming service is of choice, whether it's conversations you're allowing yourself to have that are inappropriate, whether it's anger that you're allowing to spew whenever you want it to spew, God is saying, hey, listen, you're about to get yourself in some serious danger if you don't pay attention to what you need to do right now in this moment to stop where you're headed. And sometimes that means we get extreme. It means we cut off the television, or we get it out of the house, or we get the computer out of the house, or we have someone hold us accountable and we tell them our stuff. We get really honest. Because we don't need to be fooled. Anger and adultery have consequences. There are relational consequences, physical consequences, emotional consequences. There are all kinds of consequences. And the Lord's trying to say, I'm trying to prevent you from building a foolish life that's going to let the storm blow in and you are going to be shipwrecked and ravaged at sea. And there's going to be nothing left to show for your life. These are really serious things. And at times we think we can walk hand in hand with the world and still keep this heart pure. And friends, it's just not true. It's just not true. So we need to pay attention to the convicting power of the Holy Spirit, and we need to ask the Holy Spirit to convict us of whatever he needs to convict us of. Because remember, he's all about our heart. So, not an easy topic on a Monday morning to start our week, but a necessary one for the salvation of our heart and our mind and our life. If your heart was encouraged today, please know that we have many other resources available for you. You can discover all of those at reclaiminghearts.org.